Hey folks, it's Lev. Welcome back to another video. For those of you who are new and use he and pronouns, today I just had a thought of talking about the power of saying no in general, and priorities in our lives. A little bit of background, like I think I've mentioned this in previous years, but when I was younger, I found it really hard to say no to people, and I always felt obligated for some reason to say yes to everyone and everything and not really acknowledge my own needs and say no when it doesn't meet my needs. Like if I don't want to do something, I would say yes anyway and do it for the person even though I didn't want to do it. I just felt guilty saying no, and that's been a problem for a very long time. But I've definitely, at this point in my life, I'm definitely a lot better at saying no to people and not feeling remorse for it. Like saying no, not feeling remorse, I think is one of the most powerful things. So a few weeks ago, I asked one of my best friends to call. I wanted to phone call her, and we did. And at the end of our call, she texted me and said, "Hey, I'm sorry that I wasn't as talkative. She didn't really feel like talking that day, and that's why she was a bit more quiet and not talkative." And it really made me think. And afterwards, I said, "Hey, it's okay to say no to me and acknowledge your own needs. Like if you're not up for a call, I want you to say no to me." I said that directly to her. I want you to say no to me. I'm not going to be offended that you say no to me, because it's important to acknowledge your own needs, and I don't want you to feel obligated or forced to call me or be in call with me even though you're not doing well yourself, and you need this time off to work on yourself, and you're just not up for a call. Like I'm not gonna force you to be in a call with me when you don't want to be in a call with me. Basically I said that I want you to say no to me. And then last week I asked, hey, can I call you? And she said, no, I'm not up for a call, sorry. And basically I said that's okay. Like I don't get offended when my close friends say no to me if that means acknowledging their own needs and going after their own needs. I think that is important. And when she said no to me, I thought, this is self-respect. I see self-respect in my friend, because she's, again, I'm saying this a million times, but she's acknowledging her own needs and saying no to me to meet her own needs, and that is what I want. And in terms of priorities, it doesn't mean that I'm not a priority in my friend's life. Like I'm still important to her. It's just that on that day, at that particular time, she's not for a call. And I'm honestly not offended. I literally asked her the next day, "Hey, can we call?" And we did. We video called. So like it doesn't mean that just because someone says no to me once, it doesn't mean they're gonna say no to me forever. That's like the thought. Like I have said no to my friends in the past too. They're like, "Hey, do you want to hang out?" And I'm like, "Sorry, no, I'm going through a rough time at the moment. I'm up for a call, but I really don't want to go out and hang out in person." And like we make it work. We can make things work. Like if both parties, I think, if both parties in a connection, relationship, friendship, whatever it may be, if both parties really want something, it can happen. Both parties can make it happen. I don't expect people to say yes to me every single time I ask something. Like, that's unrealistic. And to be honest, I think that's very unhealthy. Like, if my friend said yes to me every single time, I'm gonna start thinking this is really unhealthy. Something's up here, because they keep saying yes to me and they're never saying no to me. And I think that's very unhealthy. And if that were to happen, I would honestly say, hey, I'm pretty worried here. I don't think this is okay. You need to start, like, if you're not up for something, you need to start saying no to me. Like, if one of my friends did that, I would literally say that, because I don't want to see them feel obligated to say yes to me, because when they're like, because I know it's gonna make them feel worse. Like, it's not a problem if people say no to me. I think saying no is a very healthy part of life, and I think saying yes to everything is a very unhelpful way to live. There really needs to be a balance between what we say no to and what we say yes to, because we can't possibly do everything in life. nor and if we say no to everything, basically, I think we're gonna live a very miserable life if we just say no to everything. And I also think it can go downhill. We say yes to everything, so there has to be a balance between the two, and that's where priorities come in. Um, I think it's important for all of us to know what our priorities are in life, so that we can, make time and allocate effort into the things we find most important in life. I believe it's important to put a lot of effort into a few things that we prioritize and find the most important in our lives, rather than, you know, distributing little bits of effort here and there for things that we don't really care about. Instead, it's better to put a lot of effort into the things that we do care about the most. Um, one of one thing I said to one of my friends yesterday is that, so I have a long distance friendship with a friend who lives overseas from me. Like, we don't live in the same country, and we've been friends. I think this is the 6th year, and I said to her yesterday that now that I've started working, one of my priorities in terms of finances is, saving money to go break the distance with her, as in, buy a plane ticket, fly over there, pay for accommodation, and just hang out with her. That I literally said that I have my priorities, and one of it is to break the distance with you. So I have in my head very clear that this is what I want, and this is what I am going to achieve, once, COVID stuff dies down. But finances wise, I know meeting her and bring the distance with her is a priority for me, and I am going to balance that out. Give you a few examples of priorities in my life. One is my chosen family. So keeping in contact with folks and putting effort into these friendships, these six friendships that I find most important in my life. And I think it's important to balance it out. Like, everyone, I need to put like a approximate equal amount of effort into everyone, and not really like one person gets more time and attention than other people. I try to balance all of this out between the six of them. Another thing is working now, doing well in work, showing up for the right reasons. Like, I think I am there for the right reasons, and I'm very passionate about the work I do, which is like mental health stuff. Doing that and continuing to another priority for me is continuing to advocate for LGBTIQ plus folks, including specifically trans and gender diverse folks. Another priority for me is to continue working on myself and continuing to become better versions of myself. I don't know, continually updating my software. Through, if I find a bug, then I try to find a solution, then I update my software. This is just like technology. Find a bug, there's always something that can there is always something that can be done better, and then I just input it into my loop. I mentioned this in one video. It's, for me, it's not just input output, because that's just the same thing. If that's the loop, then that's just gonna be the same, because there's no feedback going in. So it's input output feedback, which then plays into input, and then the output, then the feedback again. It's always feedback always goes into the loop, and that's how I continually become a better version of myself. Another priority for me is 100% definitely boxing and exercise, because if I don't have that, I would just be out of balance and I would just crash. And after the relationship incident, dating is not a priority for me anymore. I mean, if I meet someone and something happens, then that's great, but it's not something like I'm actively, I guess, putting my effort into anymore because of what happened, and I still need time to, heal from my wounds. So I'm really not focused on that part yet. But I already have a lot of other priorities that take up most of my waking hours already. So just focusing on those things at the moment, and like saying no to things that don't really matter to me. Currently, sometimes I still feel bad saying no to people. Um, yeah, and I want to learn and like grow to the point where I can say no and have absolutely zero remorse for people and not feel guilty about my decision to say no. Something I just said to my friend that it just hit me. Like I said to my friend, I didn't really think about the line. It just came out, and the line was, "You are to not have any remorse." Like that hit me really hard. You are not to have any remorse if you decide to do this, and I'm just like, I don't know where that came from. And I think definitely a part, maybe I have an idea. I think part of that came out of me being wounded, and I'm still healing. Like it's not like, oh, like it's been 1 week since it happened, and I'm still healing. It's not like I'm good. Like in my previous video, I said like I want to go live life now, and I do, but that doesn't mean that I have absolutely zero issues bothering me. It's a process. It's probably gonna take me months to really heal from this, and that's okay. Yep, that line, you are not to have any remorse. I want to get to the point in my life where I say no and have absolutely zero remorse, because I'm standing up for myself and what I need. I should also extend this out to, it's not just saying no, it's choosing to walk if someone has, hurt you or mistreated you, or not appreciated you or not valued you, or like all of that in general. It's not just about saying no when people ask you for something. It's also about, choosing when to quit, really, because I found that in my life, past experiences, I can't I tried to talk to people, they don't listen, or I tried to change someone, which I realize now it's not my responsibility to try and change someone. I tried to change someone for the better, and that didn't work, and then it became toxic for me. And in a few of these situations, the only way I could win is to walk. I'd be like, goodbye, because they're just like so in their own head and they don't want to listen and like learn. So I'm just talking to a brick wall, and there's no point in this. Like I'm not gonna ever be able to get through to you, so I choose to walk, and that's walk away, that I should say. I choose to walk away, be like bye. And that's also basically saying no without really saying no. It's action showing that no, I'm not putting up with this anymore. This is bullshit, garbage, trash, and I'm done. And I walk. I quit. And I realize it's okay to quit sometimes. Like, never quitting is, now I realize like it sounds great, but it's not helpful. It's not healthy to keep sticking with something that is not healthy for you. And sometimes the healthy option is to quit. It doesn't mean like you quit life or give up on everything. It's just this particular thing you choose to quit because it's not helping you anymore. I guess the summary of this video is that it's okay to say no, and if you see one of your friends or someone you love or someone you're close to find it really hard to say no, I encourage you to, help them build confidence in themselves to say no, particularly the people you love and care about most, because it's in their best interest, really. Like, for the example of my friend, I said it's okay to say no to me. I don't want you to say yes to me and call me if you're not up for a call, because this isn't helpful for you and it's not healthy. And I think it will do more damage than good. So, just say no to me. The second thing is priorities. identify your priorities, and try to put effort into a lot of effort into a few things that you find most important in your life, rather than disseminating your efforts into a bunch of different things that you don't really care about and don't really give you meaning. So priorities in my life really add meaning to my life, and they all have a purpose. Like I always ask myself, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? What sort of impact is this having on your life? What value are you getting out of this? Um, is this thing hurting you or helping you? If it's hurting me, goodbye. If it's helping me grow to become a better version of myself, then yeah, I'm all for it. And saying no is not just about the verbal or written no. It can be demonstrated through action, such as choosing to walk away from a friendship or relationship that has grown toxic and is no longer healthy for you. That's also a way of saying no without saying no. So I hope you enjoyed the video, folks, and I will see you in the next one.